get your project out of After Effects and into Premiere. I'm going to click at the beginning just to kind of show you what I have. It's just the beginning of one of those tutorials. And that's basically it right now. First thing you would want to do is this bar right here is essentially what part of the video, what part of this chunk you want to use. And it might be, so here's 9 seconds, here's 10 seconds. Yours, you might have still had yours at 30. I suggested going down to 10. At this point, I only want it to be, let's just say 5 seconds. So what should happen is this chunk that's highlighted is the only piece that's actually going to be created into a video, which is all I need. So it just saves you some space. From there, you're going to go to composition and you're going to go to add to render queue. And in here, there's not a lot to do, but the first step here where it says high quality is where we are going to decide if we want this black area to be part of the video or if we want it to be essentially see-through. So go ahead and click high quality. QuickTime is fine for what we're doing. Channels is where we need RGB plus alpha. Alpha would make that black stuff invisible. If you were fine with that color being there, just black or whatever color is there, then honestly, you don't really need to click on anything here. If you had audio in this project, it's automatically added. So I could click OK. We'll do it twice. So here's one. I'm going to click OK. This right here, not yet specified, is where you give it a name and a location. So we'll just call it logo.mov. I'll go ahead and put it on my desktop. That's fine. If I wanted to get real more creative where it goes, click the drop down. I'm going to hit save. Now here's where people think it should go, but you do have to hit one more button, and it's right here where it says render. So I'm going to hit render, and that's done. All right, I'm going to delete this. This is that render queue. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to go ahead and close that. So I'm back at my project. This time, let's make it as an alpha. So composition, add to render queue, high quality. This time I'm going to go to Format Options, and lots of options. We're going to go with Animation. So I'm going to go ahead and click there. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And here, under Channels, we now can go RGB plus Alpha. Click OK. Say this is logo underscore alpha. And save, and again, render. Okay, I am pretty much done with After Effects. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Premiere. In Premiere, I have a sequence that has the proper settings. 1920, 1080, 23.976, square, all that good stuff. And I've put a Fight Club image in the background just to have something there. All right, so that's the image, that's the sequence. So let's go ahead and import both of those videos. We'll do them at the same time. I'm just going to double click down here in my project panel, and I'll go to my desktop, and I am looking for logo, MOV, and I'll do command click alpha. Go ahead and import both of those. All right, so let's see what happens. If I take the logo, drop it above, it totally covers the image below, because again, that one, I left the black in there. So it's essentially part of the video now. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that. Let's bring over the alpha version. Go to the beginning, and there you have it. So it just depends on which way you want to go. I'm going to show you one more way. I wouldn't do this. A, funny things happen. B, you need to really make sure that your computer can handle it, because it's kind of doing more things on the fly. The more stuff your computer does on the fly, the harder it has to work. But something that you could do to kind of skip some of those steps is this. All right, so again, just got the photo here of Fight Club. We have those two that we imported. Another option is actually just to grab that AEP file, the After Effects file. You can actually drop that into your project. Click it, Click OK. And if you drag that onto your timeline, it adds it, and it adds it with the alpha. Notice that this one is longer because it's taking essentially the whole 10 seconds of that timeline in After Effects, whereas I essentially chopped off those last 5 seconds on these other two. Okay. So basically, lots of options. I would go with one of the first two. Honestly, it will run smoother. Notice that I'm red now. Red means it needs to be rendered most likely, whereas the other two were yellow, which means, yes, it probably needs to be rendered, but it will still play better without rendering. Okay. All right, so how you get your stuff from After Effects to Premiere, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.